Hi, my name is Nick Burnham and I'm here for Motorboat and Yachting today on a boat you may not have heard of. It's an Agapi 950 and it's brand new into the UK, and it's a very interesting boat. It's the brainchild of a chap called Peter Asplund, and he was looking for a boat that combined the fun and the practicality of a rib with the convenience and the features of a cabin boat. He couldn't find one, so he built his own and went into production with it. This is the 950, this is a larger one, there's also a smaller 800, but the concept remains the same, and that is that you've got, for example, this area I'm sat in here is much more like a cockpit you'd find on a sports boat than you'd find on a typical rib, and when you move further forward you've got much more protection from the high sides and the windscreen. There's a small galley area on here as well, a fridge, and the whole idea of this is that you've got something that you can go out for the day and really be comfortable on. And it doesn't end there, because further forward you've also got quite a decent cabin on it. So down here in the cabin it is entirely functional. Sunseeker aren't going to be losing any sleep, but it's all you need for this style of boat, and the pale colours certainly make it feel bigger as well. Not quite standing headroom, but certainly plenty for when you sat down. There is a cosy double or a big single back here, and then further forward there's a large double. But the really big news, I think, for this style of boat is the fact it's got a proper separate heads. There's an electric flush automatic toilet in there, and it's the kind of thing that whether you're day boating or spending a weekend on board, that really does make all the difference. Now out here on the water, the thing that you notice first of all is that this is a boat that you sit very much in and not on, and that's a major departure from most ribs. So as I sit here, even without the canopies on, there's very high sides to the cockpit, and it's the same at the back as well. There's high sides around it, and you don't feel like it's the sort of thing that you're going to fall off of. But in fact on this particular boat we've got the optional hardtop as well, and we've got the side screens in, and what that's giving us is effectively like a wheelhouse just here. And it does feel like a boat that you just, first of all, are very protected from the elements, but also that you can't fall out of. But having said that, I'm going to put the safety cord on anyway, just because it's good practice. In terms of performance on this one, well, this has got the biggest engine option. They're a pair of 300 horsepower Yamaha engines, and that, as you imagine, gives it plenty of poke. But what's interesting is we had this out in the Solent earlier in some quite choppy conditions, and what's nice is that in actual fact, once she's up on the plane, as she is just there, you can drop the speed right back and let the deep V hull do its work, and the boat stays nice and level. So even back there, we're now back to about 15 knots, she still feels very level and very comfortable at that sort of speed, and that gives you a very wide operating range, particularly of course with the performance of these motors. So if we put the speed up, a very comfortable cruising speed on this boat is about 3,500 RPM, and that's at about 30 knots. And that's where we are there, 3,500, 30 knots, and that's a cruise all day speed. Very comfortable. But these engines top out at 5,500 RPM, and that's 50 knots, and it'll do that too. The marine industry is littered with what must seem like good ideas at the time but never actually quite worked in fruition. This, I think, is destined to be an exception, because what Peter has created here is very much the SUV of the water. It combines the fun and the practicality of a rib, but it gives you those features and that comfort that you get from a larger cabin boat. This is a boat that really does bridge the divide.